All right, what's up, guys? This is Brendan, half of the Better Not.
Cause she's drop dead gorgeous. I think she knows it. I think she knows it.
All right, what's up, guys? This is Brendan, half of the Better Not founding team here, and I'm giving you a spin at the first round of our journal series, where we're really bringing you behind the journey of starting and creating a clothing company, and more or less talking about the brand of Better Not and kind of how this came to be. And I mean, for this first one, I mean, this is really going to be the genesis, more or less. I mean, like, why a clothing company, how this idea came to be, and a little bit on that initial concept, right? And I think the seeds were planted probably back in October of 2023. I was in a place a lot of us are at in life, feeling rather unfulfilled and unpassionate about my work. I was in software sales at the time, and I mean, really just dying to figure out what entrepreneurial activity I could start to bet on. And I mean, I always had all these creative interests. I mean, I had a stint in music production, in DJing, in writing, in copywriting, and a lot of them were more or less take a book off a shelf, read half of it, and put it back on. Nothing that really, I guess, gripped me necessarily. And I remember I was at a clothing store, and I was just looking at all the merchandise, and I mean, some of the language on the shirts and how it was addressed, I mean, really impressed me. Thinking like, this is a great line that could go in a song or whatnot. And it was kind of this eureka moment where I realized clothing can be a canvas to really integrate a bunch of different creative efforts, right? I mean, whether it comes down to writing, graphic design, placements, from a branding perspective, you can bring people in on a very consistent journey and really allow you just to have a massive canvas to be able to play with a lot of different areas of creativity. So I think that was really the moment that I knew I wanted to kick off a clothing company. And I mean, the first step after that was reaching out to my best friend to get on the ride as well. And from there, I mean, the initial concept was not Better Not. It was supposed to be a company called Podium Crew, and it was designed to make specifically hats for Formula One fans, right? And I mean, the rationale behind this was we looked at the line of apparel that F1 was offering, and it, I mean, really lacked any creativity or individuality. I mean, it was either a car brand on your head, or it was a simple number of a driver, right? And we really wanted to blend the worlds of streetwear and Formula One, and saw this huge market for it. And it was simply going to be hats that said reserve driver or pit crew or passenger princess, just so if you were new to the sport or if you were a seasoned fan, you could wear that to a GP and everyone would kind of get it, and it would be something to stand out from the crowd, right? Long story short on there, what we found was we wanted to extend the brand, but we weren't that close with the target audience, right? I mean, it was really this kind of gearhead philosophy, and a lot of quotes that were inspiring to the time were like, buy the ticket, take the ride, find what you love and let it fuel you. And I mean, I was doing everything I could from a market research perspective to really get behind the hood. And I was playing Gran Turismo and looking up all the facts and decking out cards just to get myself privy with the vernacular. But pretty soon I kind of felt like an imposter for building a brand that I could register with that would be as authentic as it needed to be. And while this was kind of happening from a brand identity perspective, we were working with a graphic designer at the time. I mean, we didn't have the experience in-house to really go into Illustrator and design everything we needed to. And for no fault of their own, there was just a disconnection between what we were aspiring for and what we were receiving, and it felt a little cartoony and a little gimmicky. And more or less, it kind of came to this critical point where there was this extreme storm in San Diego, and me and my roommate were kind of looking at the deck we had in front of us and thought, hey man, I don't see this being something that we're going to be stoked about in 2 years. I don't see the graphics being something that we want to put our name behind at the end of the day. And between him taking on ownership of learning Illustrator that week and designing graphics that were up to our standard, and from us having a pretty deep conversation of what kind of brand did we want to have and what do we want the textures and the tone and the personality to be, Podium Crew never got to see the light of day. But around the turning point of 2023 into 2024, we solidified the name Better Not. We came up with the ethos and the messaging behind it. And I mean, we really went to work on actually getting this thing off the ground. And the funny part looking back is I thought the hardest part of building a company was going to come up with an idea in graphics that excited us. And we really had no idea how many steps it took to get a company off the ground.